Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to cover the process for how to apply for a TAN, and this is what all we are going to cover. So first of all, why do you need to apply for a TAN? We are going to cover the process for an individual, whereas the process remains, almost the same for other parties as well. How do you apply for a new TAN, or how do you get your particulars change on a TAN? We'll cover it in detail, step by step instructions. I'll walk you through what are the guidelines, some tips and tricks. Then what is the payment process? How can you track your application? And how can you even follow up on your application once you've applied? So, first of all, what is a TAN and why do you have to apply for a TAN? So TAN is tax reduction and collection account number, basically tax collection account number. It is a 10-digit alphanumeric number which is required to be obtained by anyone who is responsible for deducting tax or collecting tax at source. So what it means is, if you have to deduct tax for somebody, for example, you are employer or you're buying a property from somebody, and you need to deduct tax and you need to deposit it to the government, that is when you should have a TAN. Now, there are some exceptions to it, and we're not covering that in detail. You can go to the incometaxindia website.com to read about what or why TAN is. In this video, we'll mainly cover how to apply for a TAN. And it is compulsory to quote TAN in any TDS or TCS returns, annual information return, any other documents that are required. So it is mandatory to have a TAN. Otherwise, failure to quote a TAN or obtaining a PAN can attract a penalty of rupees 10,000, apart from some other penalties that it might bring in. So moving on, how do you apply for a TAN? First of all, you have to go to this official website. This is mentioned here. I'll try to paste it in the detailed links as well. So you go to this website and then you see all of these four options. So you have to choose for online application for TAN. So you don't have to submit the form offline, but you have to fill the entire application and submit the application online. And later we'll talk about how do you submit that document as well. So first we'll cover the online application and then I'll try to cover all of these as well for changes in TAN data. How do you and track your application, or how do you look into the transaction status for your online applications? So first of all, when you visit this website, when you click this link, it will bring you to this page, and this is the guidelines page. So what this page talks about and what we are going to cover in detail is the application procedure, that you have to fill this form and submit it. Then how you will get the acknowledgement, what kind of acknowledgement do you get, what do you have to do with the acknowledgement, how can you make the payment. Then it also talks about how do you have to submit your documents finally once you've submitted your online application. And this is the contact us information also. In case you have to reach out to these numbers, you may send them an email at this. They are responsive. We will try to I'll cover this as well later in this video. So I am covering this video because I applied for a new TAN for myself, because when you buy a property from an NRI, it is mandatory to apply for a TAN and quote a TAN when you deduct tax for the person whom you are buying the property from. So once you have read through the instructions, right, and you can click on this link, it will take you to the detailed instructions. So if somebody wants to still look at what the instructions are, something is not clear, you can click on this link and it will bring you to this page. We'll cover all of this in detail in this video, and it is a very quick process. You can apply for a TAN in as soon as 5 minutes once you watch this video or once you've gone through the instructions. So you can go through this instructions for filling the online form 49B, and what I'll be covering in this video primarily is for how to apply it for an individual, and all of these instructions that you see here, I'll be covering them in detail, but you may want to read through it if needed. So once you've read the instructions, you come back to this page, and then this is how you apply for a new TAN. When you click on this drop down, you will see all of these values and you choose your appropriate value. Right now, I've chosen individual. You may choose a company or a branch or a firm or branch of a firm as well. And once you have selected, it will bring you to this page, which is the online application or for form number 49B. So first thing that you have to do is fill your assessing officer details. And if you don't know what the best way to do is, click here on this link that is mentioned here. And what it will do is it will tell you, search on your city. So whatever your city is, just search on that. Click on that letter. It will bring you to this page. In my example, I've chosen Gurgaon. You may choose your city where you are applying for TAN. If you're applying online, you can choose your assessing officer for where you usually file your returns, wherever you will be filing your return. That place is what you should choose. So once you've chosen Gurgaon, choose the IT office that shows here. So if you see in Gurgaon, it also shows that for if your TDS is less than 10 lakhs, then you should choose this ITO office. Otherwise, you could choose GCIT, but choose the assessing office that is most appropriate. Select this box button here and then click on submit. Once you click on submit, you will see all of these fields will come auto-populated. Now, if you go further, if you see all of these information is not for you to fill because you're not a central state government or you're not a company. All of those fields get grayed out, which you don't have to fill. So whichever option you choose, whether you are applying for an individual or company, that options will get enabled here. So what you've chosen here is I've chosen here is individual, and that is what we are choosing here. So if you see. I've chosen individual, and you can choose your title accordingly if you're applying for a male, female, whoever. Then what you have to do is fill your middle name, first name, last name. This is just an example that I filled here. The next thing that you have to fill is your address. Just fill your address, that your regular address is. Fill your road, street address, city, zip code. Fill your mobile number. You can give your telephone number, and you can give your email where you will get all the acknowledgements and everything. Then you have to choose what is the nationality, and you have to give your PAN if you have PAN. Do note it has to be valid PAN, otherwise you will get an error. So this website is linked and checks in the database that this PAN is valid. So your PAN should be valid. Then once you've done that, just fill that I, fill your name and in your capacity. This is where I was a little confused. Should I mention as a buyer, as a company, or what? So I think for whatever you choose, it got approved for me. I have written buy in one application for one of my family members, and I've written a self. So I think the best practice is that give your name and that you're up in your capacity as self. You are stating that you're applying this application. Give your city, and if you have a GSTN number that you want to give, you can give that as well. But these are the details. These are the only details that you have to fill. Then you can simply go to the payment details. You may choose to, fill a demand draft or check. But I think if you're applying this form online and you have access to net banking, this is best. Otherwise, in the detailed instructions page that I showed earlier, you can get a demand draft created, or you may send a check along with your application as well. So I've chosen net banking because that's the fastest, quickest, and the fees is 65 rupees only. And then once you have chosen net banking, just click on submit button. Then you will get this, to enter this code. Once you enter the code, just what this says is that you have to note your transaction number. So in case if you get disconnected anytime after this, you can just retrieve your transaction number from the website in the initial four links where you had four links for applying a new TAN or retrieve your transaction number. You put this transaction number and it will bring you back to this page, and you can just make the payment. You don't need to fill all the information again. That is what this basically all of this says. And once you've noted down your transaction number, you can just click on agree that you agree to these terms and conditions. And what it says is that we will cover all of this process later on. How do you get allotment of TAN or dispatch of TAN? Basically, choose your credit card, debit card, internet banking, whatever you want to choose. It will be for 65 rupees. It might add 4 rupees or 10 rupees as a charge, that they've mentioned. But since the amount is very low, I think you can just choose any payment method and click on make payment. Once you've done that, your application is submitted. That is it. How you to submit it an application. It is that simple. And once you've done that on your screen, you'll see an acknowledgement for your TAN application. But what right now I am showing you is an acknowledgement that I received in my email. So you'll receive an email that your TAN has been applied. It will show your acknowledgement number. You don't need to note it down anywhere. And it also shows that if in case you have any questions, in case your TAN gets delayed, you can either call at these numbers. So I tried, probably these numbers were not reachable, but you can email them. I did get an email back from them with the relevant status. So in the acknowledgement, you'll also get an attachment, or once you're on the screen, you'll get this acknowledgement for TAM. It will show your acknowledgement number, your email address, all of those details. And what you have to do is you have to save the PDS copy of this acknowledgement, right? And then what you have to do is you have to either sign this application. So you have to take a printout of this, sign this, or put a left thumb impression of the applicant within this box only. And once you've signed this, here are the instructions that are there for next step. So fill up the form online, get the acknowledgement, save the acknowledgement, and now sign it, and then you have to send it. So what you have to do is you have to save and print this acknowledgement, and on the envelope you have to write application for TAM, write your write your acknowledgement number, right? This is an example, and then you have to send it to this address. It is basically in Pune that you have to send it. You could choose to send it via India Post, but don't choose a regular post, choose a speed post. It will charge you around 30-40 rupees, but at least you could track it, and in case it is needed. So, application will be processed not once you've submitted it online. This is very important. You have to sign it and you have to send it to this address. And once you've sent it within 15 days, your DD or check should also be sent to them within 15 days of when you apply your online application. So, once you've sent that, your job is done. What will happen later is after a few days. So, for me, for the first TAN application, it took only 4 days. So I got confirmation in my email within 4 days, but I had applied for another TAN for my family member and it took 3 weeks. So once it is done, you'll see this that this is the TAN allotment letter for your TAN application number, and your TAN number will be mentioned here. And then what you have to do further is just this is your TAN. Basically, your TAN number is allotted. You'll get it in email, and then you'll also get a hard copy at your home. You can download this letter also. It will show you a link once you track your application. You can download this from there as well. You'll get it in your email as well, and this is what it would look like. So this is your TAN number that will come in your email, and then later a physical copy will come as well at your home. Now, this is the TAN number, and what happened is because my TAN was delayed, so I did send them an email. So what I'm showing here is that if you email them, they do reply back, or they do let you know that what is the status and where it is stuck. You might call on their help desk numbers also. Sometimes they might get through. I think once or twice it did get through for me, but it wasn't very helpful. They were just telling me the same status that I could track myself online. This do note this is the new email ID, so you can send it directly to that as well. Or if you're sending it to the old email ID, then you'll get a reply back from this new email ID, and you can get in touch with them here as well. So once you've done your online application, if you want to track your TAN application status with the acknowledgement number, just click on that link, choose application type TAN instead of PAN here, and give your acknowledgement number, enter the security codes, and this should show you your status. This will show you that this is your letter was allotted or it is in progress, and you can download your TAN allotment letter from here as well. Your password is your PIN code that you mentioned in the TAN application form. Then, in case if you want to apply for any changes on your TAN, the process is very much the same. Just click on this link instead of new application. It will again bring you here. Note that instead of new application, it shows changes or correction. Then, and rest of the process remains the same. The last thing that I want to show is transaction status inquiry. So if you want to inquire the status of your transaction before you made the payment, and you got a network glitch or you could not complete your application, you click on this page, you give your acknowledgement number, show status, and then you can proceed from there. It is as easy as that. So I hope this makes the process for application for a TAM very clearer and simpler. If you have any questions, do try to mention in comments. Maybe I myself, if I get some time, or somebody else who's reading through the comments could probably suggest you. Thank you, and hope this is helpful.